You're listening to the Purdy Girl Podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Kelly Purdy. My mission is to connect military spouses, fiancés, girlfriends, and booty calls worldwide. So let's do this. Hey everybody, welcome back to Purdy Girl Podcast. Can I just be totally real with you guys? I am feeling so off. I love doing this podcast and I plan to keep showing up for all of you, but I don't want to be that kind of person that's like, I'm fine when maybe I'm not so fine. And it's not that I'm not fine. It's just I'm not feeling like my usual wake up and seize the day self, I guess, which I think is pretty normal, right? To be 5 weeks postpartum and sleep deprived. I'm really trying to not be hard on myself and to just keep things in perspective. But I found myself just sort of frustrated this morning, knowing I want to put out a podcast for you, but I'm sort of feeling just blank. I don't know how else to describe it. I think it's important to be honest about that. One thing I think I need to take a step back from is just mindlessly scrolling on social media. I can't believe how much that drains me and I don't even realize it until days later. It's been pretty bad lately. I'm consuming way more than I'm creating and it affects me and here's the thing. I'm like consuming at all parts of the day. Like when I'm breastfeeding at 2 a.m., it's not great. Before I had the baby, I would have long periods of time where I would be off social and not consume. Sometimes from 8 p.m. to 11 a.m., I would never get on. Now I'm on and I'm scrolling and I'm not even like putting out content. So it just is sort of draining. I don't even know if that makes sense to everyone. Some of you are probably like, well, geez, you don't have to get on every single day, but it's weird. It's like, it's kind of addicting. I feel way more overwhelm and more stress and anxiety when I'm constantly looking at what others are doing and comparing myself. It's not healthy. And it's weird. Like I said, it's just weird how addicted I feel to it. Like, today I told myself I was going to take a break from consuming in the morning and I sat down to nurse Isabella and what do you know? I was on my phone scrolling and reading about how the New York Post published an article saying the lockdowns were a huge mistake, which honestly, I will be going back and reading that. Very interested. But anyway, I digress. When I realized what I was doing, I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't want to do that today. I didn't want to just scroll and have others dictate my day. I need to control what I can control. I need to control my day and be intentional about what I'm consuming. And here's the thing, I do like consuming the news and current events. But like I've said before in previous podcasts, it needs to be after lunch in the afternoon. Like it's not during my most productive and creative hours, which is in the mornings for me. I think it's good to be aware of what's going on in the world and even politics and everything. But I think it just makes a huge difference when you're intentional about when you consume that. Because you don't want, we all know kind of how crazy politics has been lately, right? And you just don't want it to totally affect your whole day and derail you from what you want to get done. So, like I said, just being more intentional is crucial, especially when it comes to how you consume social media and media in general, and to not just have it thrown in your face all day, every day. So, I'm taking my own advice. A few podcasts ago, I actually talk about this and changing the habit of social media by either deleting the app altogether or even just moving it to another spot in your phone. So your brain has to like pause before you open it and you can be like, oh yeah, that's right. We're not doing that today. We are creating today. I know this is different content than I normally put out today, but sometimes I think that's the best thing that someone can do is just show up anyway and be like, hey, this is where I'm at. I was asking myself this morning, like, what would I need to hear right now? What sort of message would click in my head to be like, okay, I can do this. I can do the thing. It's hard, but I'm going to show up anyway. And, I think that's just it. Not every day is going to be perfect, and you're not always going to be motivated and inspired, but it's showing up anyway because you made that commitment. Those are the days that I have the most growth. I feel like those are the days that just truly have the most growth in them. You can learn so much, and you can apply that to your job, your diet, your new exercise routine, whatever you're currently working on, whatever you've committed to. Show up, do your best, and keep moving forward. We cannot quit on ourselves. That's what I keep telling myself. I cannot quit on myself. I can't quit on my dream, right? And I think that's the thing I was in a funk about. Like I love this podcast. I tell you guys all the time. I love showing up for you. And today, where I just felt blank, I guess I sort of started to panic. I'm like, oh, great, Ash, this is how it starts. Like, this is how you're going to give up on your hobbies and what you truly love. It gets hard, and all the excuses come in as to why you should just not podcast. And here's the thing, there are excuses, and then there are valid reasons to not do something. And I think it's important to know the difference. Like, if I truly felt like I needed to sleep all day and have B watch the baby because of my physical and mental health, I would do that. And it did cross my mind, and that would be a valid reason. Like if I felt like those things were suffering. But I know myself, and I know I'm okay. I know myself well enough to know when I'm coming up with excuses. And my excuse today was that I just felt blank. And I'm worried I'm talking about being a mom too much, that I'm going to lose people's interest in that. And I want, I don't know. I just want to know that the direction of this podcast is going in the right way. It's going in the right way. So that's just me being real for you. But do you ever do that? Do you ever kind of struggle with that same sort of process? What is that? What is that self-sabotage? It's weird and strange because I feel like I haven't done that, like self-sabotage, in so long, but it's kind of creeping back in. And I just have to decide to not let it win. I can't let the excuses win. We can't let the excuses win ever. You know why? Because we're better than that. We can do hard things. We were made to do hard things. There's a reason that we have this urge and desire to do things like run a marathon, to start the business, to go after that promotion, to tell someone we love them. There's something deep inside us that craves growth and craves the challenge, because that's the only way we can reach our potential in this life. The best thing we can do when those excuses pop up and we tell ourselves all the reasons we can't go after our dreams and our passions, our desires, is to lean in even harder. Feel the fear and do it anyway. I love that saying, feel the fear and do it anyway. And that's what I'm doing. So, whatever you're going through, whatever challenges are coming up for you, and whatever season you're in, just know that I'm going through it too, and we can do hard things together. And I'm going to keep talking about it, and I'm going to keep showing up for you all because that's what I love doing. So, with that being said, I'm going to spend the rest of my day with B and Isabella and Jazzy. Just enjoy our Labor Day. We are hanging out mostly since baby girl's going through a bit of a growth spurt, according to Baby Weeks. I don't know if you mamas out there know that app. Baby Weeks, it's just an app that we're using to help us know what's going on with the baby and her life and her little growth spurts. And that's what's going on. She's going through a growth spurt. She's a little more needy right now. And so I'm going to going to wrap this up and go hang out with them. So I hope you guys have the best day and are enjoying this Labor Day. And I will talk to you guys on Wednesday. Thank you for listening to Purdy Girl Podcast. If you have a second, please rate and review and share this podcast with somebody you think would love it. See you next week.